welcome everyone. We're live. Today we are just talking about gay media that we're loving for Pride. We're just going to be talking about books, movies, just all the things we've been loving. Rex, hopefully you have some recommendations as well. Say hey in the chat if you're here. And yeah, I don't have a huge structure plan for this one because I figured once we got started, it would just kind of go.
Once we got started, you wouldn't be able to stop.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully that turns out to be true. That's June 15th. Halfway through June.
Gosh, we are halfway through June. How did that happen? Oh, no.
Sorry to start with a crisis.
That's a really rough way to start chat, man. Okay.
It's wild to think of like how much, like when we first started this channel, what, like in books specifically, what kind of gay media was available, and like we would have like been talking about just like very specific titles and the rep and whatever. Like now there's like, I could not tell you all of any form of media.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think, there's not a ton of like gay rep in video game. I don't know, but even then there's like so much like just choose whatever you want it to be in video games. So
I feel like when the channel started,
Stardew Valley,
like
everyone's dating everybody. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like when the channel started, it was like we had Simon and the Homo sapiens agenda.
That came out during, like, we had been a channel for years at that point.
Yeah. Well, and then for a long time, it was like there was like the one gay title a year that was always like white cis boys in love.
And usually sad.
Usually.
And frequently sad. So
yeah. Yeah, definitely glad to be living in a world with more representation, and just give me all of it.
Yeah. I am. No one spoil it if you've played the game or if you've beat the game. I'm trusting you all. I'm playing Split Fiction right now, and I want it to be gay so bad. I don't know if it's going there, but I feel like it could.
Okay.
That's the one that's made by the It Takes Two people. And it's really good. And I just think it would be even better if they kissed. But no one tell me if they don't or do. Because I don't want to, I'm almost done. So.
Well, I guess maybe a good starting point is like, what's like one recent gay media that you have enjoyed?
So I'm trying to answer Megan's question without telling her the answer. I want to know the answer.
I guess I read book 2 of a series recently. The first book is called Liar City, and the second book is Twisted Shadows. And it's set in like an alternate reality Seattle, in which some people have developed empathic powers, and a lot of legislation has been put into place of like, we don't want you in our brains. We don't want, all that stuff, trying to control it and seeing it as a bad thing. And so there's like a task force that tracks empaths and everything like that. So one main character is an empath, and the other one is called an empath hunter. He says he's an empath specialist, but like a romance develops between the two of them. And it's the kind of romance where I don't know what you would call this trope, but it's the idea that like, one character feels safe with the other character because they feel like, oh, you're the only person who can stop me if like I ever go nuclear, which I like.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got a gay romance, but I think both are bi. Yeah.
Bi for bi.
Bi for bi.
Love to see it.
Around this time last week, I was still coming off the high from Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, the author of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So it's kind of set in that same, like, alternate history, but it's pretty much our history, but we get to make up different people and make their stories part of history. So just about lady astronauts in the 80s and very much a lady love and lady romance, and
Nice.
it's a pretty heavy. I wanted more. I saw TikTok today saying like, if you one of those people saying you wanted more space and atmosphere, you're homophobic. I'm like, no, I really like astronauts. Like, I don't want less romance, but like more NASA.
Just make it a longer book and put more space.
Yeah.
Equal amount of kissing, more space. They could kiss in space, perhaps even. I don't know.
Even add more kissing. Like I felt like both parts were kind of rushed. Like it was more like a summary of 4 years in a fairly short book. Like, take your time. I'm in no hurry.
Yeah. This was probably, when did I read this? It was towards the beginning of this year, but I am still thinking about Looking for Love in All the Haunted Places by Kann, which has an ace main character. It was just fun. All I want this year is just like fun books and books about plants. So yeah, that's probably my biggest rec so far.
I bought that one, and I'm like 3 pages into. Like, I just haven't been able to sit and read it. But I've read all of Claire Kann's other books, and liked all of them. Like, obviously liked them enough to keep reading them. But then, like, the last book I read by her was her adult debut, which is a contemporary romance, and it was like on another level for me. That was like, oh, I love this book.
What's it called?
That one.
It's called The Romantic Agenda.
Okay. Yeah, because I read Let's Talk About Love and really liked it, but I haven't yet picked up another Claire Kann book.
And that's kind of how I've been about like all of her YAs. It's like I read them, I liked them, I kept reading her, but then I read The Romantic Agenda and I was like, I don't know. And maybe some of it is just like, and maybe some of it is just like, sometimes romance particularly, sometimes it's like that just hit right. But I did really like that one. One for me that I read recently, I kind of went on like a contemporary romance tear like the last couple months, and I read Cash Delgado is Living the Dream by Taylor K. Mejia, and it was like a very well done like contemporary romance, so I really enjoyed that one.
You know what? Hang on. Everybody pause. I should be writing these down. Hang on. Let me get a Google Doc open. Everyone try to think of what you've already said.
That's interesting to hear that author has contemporary romance out, because I read their debut fantasy. Why fantasy?
Yeah, like why I don't even remember if it was fantasy or just like dystopian is kind of what I remember. I only read the first book in that series, and it was like fun, but I think it was kind of at the point where I was like a little oversaturated with like a lot of the speculative YA.
Sure.
And I just never circled back. But I really like Cash Delgado.
Nice.
Like it's probably because I think I like over the last couple months read like 6 or 7 or maybe more like contemporary romance books, and I think that one was probably my favorite.
Nice.
Kyra, you saying you went on a tear had me like frantically looking at your Fable profile, just like based on your reading this year. What does a tear mean? How many books is that? But it's a totally reasonable amount of books.
It was a reasonable amount of books. I don't like that if you look at my like Fable stats for the year, it's just like every month is a little less reading that I've done, because I like did so many, like an obscene number of books in January, and just like obviously that wasn't going to be sustainable, but it's just like January, February, March.
I don't think it's the same when you're looking at yourself, but you look at someone else's profile on Fable now, it looks nicer than I remember. Like,
does it?
Yeah.
Well, they added this thing where you like it gives you an abbreviation of the type of books you like to read, kind of like a Myers-Briggs letter system.
Yeah, but there's also like this little like scan through.
Yes, I do remember seeing that.
Like it's very pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, it does look nice.
Why can't I see this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I want to see what I look like. I like me and Kelly. Your like Myers-Briggs looking thing is fiction speculative dark wanderer, and mine is fiction speculative light wanderer.
That is surprising.
Yeah, it's all the fun stuff I've been reading and all the dungeon crawler Carl you're reading. That's gotta be the thing that has flipped them.
I like that Kyra and I are both big fans of E. Latimer.
Yeah.
I still don't rate a ton of books, so.
I haven't been doing a good job of keeping track of the books I've been reading, primarily because I haven't been reading a ton over the last 2 months. I am reading a book about chickens and a book about how animals conceive of death. So, big month for me. And in a shocking twist, neither of those are gay. So.
And Griswold had said, I just borrowed atmosphere. I'm hoping for plenty of space and romance. Like, the book is almost entirely space and romance. That's like all you get in it, other than like a subplot where the main character is like an exceptionally dedicated and involved aunt that like resonated with me for sure. But the rest is all just that.
Nicole said, speaking of dungeon crawler Carl, I have 3 hours left in book 3.
Has the Katya thing happened yet? So that's the part that like everyone who gets to that point, I want to like hear their thoughts. So I think it's like the halfway mark. So I think she probably is. But, and I won't say anything else on it. I'm just curious if you got there.
I've only read book 1 so far.
Yeah, same. I have book 2 though because I got it on sale.
Book 3 is when it really like opens up into a much bigger thing.
That's hard to fathom right now.
And then it opens up again. Oh, yeah. Like book 5 and book 7 continue to just like, oh, this is massive.
I recently, my son, we were at the bookshop and he picked up The Witch Boy, graphic novel by Molly Knox Ostertag. And it's for like solidly middle grade readers, and my son is not. He's quite a bit younger than that, but we still tore through it together. He like loved it. We got to the end and he was like, we have to go to the store to get the next one. So and I also really enjoyed that series. All 3 were great. Highly recommend.
I know Megan and I both also enjoyed the Guncle.
Oh yeah,
It's on my list. Yeah,
that one was hard.
I liked that one too. I didn't love it, but I liked it.
I don't know if the audiobook kind of enhanced some of the humor, but I also found it to be quite funny.
Sometimes I find humor a little hit or miss in an audiobook format. Probably primarily because I listen to it at such high speed.
Like you don't find that problem with horror.
I don't find it with horror.
But funny talking really fast apparently. I don't know.
It doesn't hit the same.
Well, humor's all about timing, so
yeah.
Suspense is all about like going slowly.
That was we did an icebreaker at work last week, and the question was like, what's your hidden talent? And so I said that mine was that I can listen to audiobooks at 3 times speed. That one was a big hit at the company icebreaker meeting.
It was doing numbers.
Yeah, it was doing numbers. But then this other guy said he could do tongue twisters, and so he kind of showed me up a little. Yeah. But until that guy went. I feel like the Guncle would make a good movie. I would really like to see that as a movie.
Yeah, I don't feel like the characters landed with me as much as they needed to for that story to work, whereas I feel like visually seeing everybody.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
My personal theory is that the main character is based after Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh.
There's no like official. That's just I read it and I was like, I think
that's what you pictured.
Yeah. Well, because like he's on like his whole thing is he's been on a TV show that was like really long running, and he played like kind of like the sassy best friend. Like, I think there were like a couple. Also, the character's name is Patrick. So, but there were like a couple other things that were like just like clicking for me. Like, maybe,
Perhaps.
we'll never know, but. In nonfiction that I read recently, George M. Johnson, who is mostly known for All Boys Aren't Blue, one of the most banned books in America, has a nonfiction.
Such a good book.
It's a very good book. A nonfiction set of essays that I recently read about Black and queer figures in the Harlem Renaissance. Which was really cool, and it's a pretty quick read, but just interesting to like see like the intersection of like Black history is really frequently erased and queer history is really frequently erased. So like at the intersection, it's like really hard to like find those histories and bring them to light. So
What was the title?
The Flambouyants. It's got like a fun cover too.
Yeah, it does.
We had mentioned Stardew Valley earlier, which made me think of the book Homegrown Magic by Rebecca Podos and Jamie Pacton. Which it felt like Stardew Valley. The main character is non-binary and moves to this like quaint little town to get away from their capitalist lifestyle, and there's magic involved, and so it's fun.
I'm trying to write all of these down. So
thank you for making the list.
I will put it in the description box after we go off air. If anyone's like, wait, I didn't catch that one. Said, I've been having trouble getting new releases up to 3 times. I'm wondering if they're starting to increase the narration speed from the start. Interesting. I haven't noticed that, but I haven't been listening to books for the last few months.
I do feel like I've listened to a couple recently that did feel like faster. Like I would
God, I love that.
Yeah.
Some of them just feel slow motion.
I honestly, I don't understand.
It gets difficult to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, people who are like, yes, this is the speed I like my books. This is so much slower.
This is not the speed I talk.
Yeah. Or, the average person talks.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Certainly not the speed I would read it in text form. I could definitely see that though, especially with now most of the video-based platforms let you up the speed on things, and I think people probably typically do.
Yeah, I wonder because people love to point to that kind of stuff as our attention spans or blah 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 blah. I don't know, or I've gotten better at interpreting information and.
Yeah, it's not that I need to get through it faster. It's just that I can keep up.
And there's room for go whatever speed you like.
Yeah. I have on Audible, they let you go above 3 times speed, and that does start to feel a little what are we doing here?
I had friends come over not too long ago, and we were all getting in my hot tub. And there's speakers out there that are tied to my phone, and it started playing my audiobook at whatever speed I was listening to at the time. And the reaction of everybody, just even for me, just jumping into it blind and not expecting it, it takes a minute for it to be oh, I understand what they're saying. So it wasn't a good window into how that sounds for people who aren't used to speeding things up.
I one time was road tripping with my sister, and we found a book that we both wanted to listen to, and I was like, I know she can't, she's not on my level. So I was like, I'm gonna set it at like just like 1.5 or something. And we're like a little bit in, and my sister's like, this is a little fast, bro. And I was like, oh man, this could be painful.
Oh no.
The trick is you start slower.
I know.
And then slowly nudge it up
in my head, 1.5 was already like almost unbearably slow.
Yeah, 1.5 is the like compromise for my husband and I when we listen to stuff in the car, because we do that a lot. But
I don't know that I've listened to an audiobook with anyone else.
Not since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like we had like the books on tape or books on CDs, and we'd listen.
Oh.
For, like road trips.
Yeah, occasionally on car trips.
Oh, because I see the audiobooks at the library sometimes. Like, oh, I wish I had like a CD player. I could just like pop some like big free audiobooks. Great, but like you can't speed those up.
Oof.
No, you can't.
Yes. It's like someone saying ring ring. It's weird that you can. Oh no, I guess my phone's not connected anymore. But yeah. I wouldn't even know how to describe that. But that's as good a way as any.
What's everyone watching these days?
Oh yeah, and Griswold, come on with the recommendation.
Oh my God! Please.
Add the fourth. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, I get 4 good book recommendations instead of 3.
I haven't watched anything new other than The Residence, which I watched with you. So.
And there's no way that Cordelia is straight. She cannot be. Oh, I've been really wanting to read that one. Your Lonely Nights Are Over by Adam Sass.
There is also the side characters of the president and his husband.
Yeah.
So counts as queer media in that regard.
I'm still working on whatever that Star Wars one I've been watching is, Andor, which is a very like, there's a queer couple and they've tried to like make it so subtle that it's like hypothetically you might not even notice. I feel like.
Ugh. Speaking of Ugh, the newest season of Yellow Jackets was rough.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't even make it all the way through. If the next season's amazing, I'll double back. But
I'm giving them one more season. I really hope they can pull it back. It was really bad.
That kind of show is tricky to like. Decisions have been made.
That's one that could be a good candidate for your "How would we do it better" idea.
Yeah. Then I have to go watch and finish it. But yeah.
You just read summaries. I'll recap it for you. I'm at least going to watch through next season. I love Melanie Linsky. Ooh, the Mortician.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Oh, I just started Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle.
Mm-hmm.
I just got it on Everand.
Oh, I'm glad to hear How to Survive a Slasher is good. I read Justine's debut, which was not horror, but it was fun and queer. So that's good. Good to hear.
Just speaking of Leah and horror, because I still want this to happen. She had mentioned very recently that she's considering finally watching Hill House, which counts as queer media.
The source material is considered
Yes.
very queer.
Yes, I read it
for its time. Yeah, not even for its time.
Yeah, I was reading a historical fiction queer romance called "We Could Be So Good Together," or I think it was either that one or the second book in the series. I can't remember. But anyways, they had mentioned the book, and I was like, oh, well, I haven't watched the show because I'm a huge scaredy cat, but maybe I could read the book, and then that would help me get into watching the show. And then Megan's like,
the book is nothing like
different.
the show.
But Spook Notes exists to help you watch the show. So
yeah. Or I will watch it with you and just be like, it's coming. It's a jump scare.
Live Spook Notes.
Yeah. I can make it so unspooky because I'll just be in there. No sane thing can continue to live under. Ooh, and Nicole said, I'm currently 60 pages into Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. It's a feminist reworking of Carmilla. I'm enjoying the lead's interactions with Carmilla so far, but I'm worried about the staff. That one's been on my list too.
I haven't read Carmilla. Oh, you have? Okay.
I read every vampire book I could get my hands on when I was writing that vampire book.
Nice.
So, and it was really good.
All right.
This is very good for my TBR.
It's making me feel like I've fallen behind. I should have more to talk about.
So much.
I am such a big reread year. So I reread Gideon, which is great and queer, but nobody needs me to pitch that to them. So
not here at least. I'm very curious what Fable and Everand being joined together looks like.
What is that other one? I haven't heard of it.
It used to be Scribd.
Oh.
But then for some reason they decided Scribd was just going to be for PDFs, and then they were going to call it Everand for the books. And they split them into 2 apps. And I don't fully understand the business reason for why you would change the name of the bigger portion of what you do, but they did that. But they had the romantic agenda is on Everand. So.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. Who was that author? Hang on. Where is it? I have it on my shelf somewhere. A Shore Thing, that author.
Oh, yeah. That's on my list since you said it was good.
Is that the one at the bicycle race?
Yeah, and I just saw that author has another one that just came out this week. Joanne Lowell, maybe, is the author's name? Joanna Lowell. Let me get the title of the new one. A Rare Find, which is when an aspiring archaeologist teams up with her childhood enemy for a treasure hunt, they find it impossible to bury their growing feelings in a charming queer historical romance from the author of A Shore Thing.
That sounds delightful.
I'm so excited for it.
My old library didn't have a shore thing, but my new library, since I moved, does. So I have a hold on it.
Yay.
The only good thing to come out of having to switch libraries. I lost so many library homes that I'd had so
no, you're
long.
out of the system you were in?
So about a month after I moved, because there's kind of like two big library systems that I like just am barely on the side that's in like the Salt Lake, like the more northern part of the state. They're a little collection of libraries. And about a month after I moved, my old library card expired.
No.
Which is a real bummer. I was like this close to like driving down there and like, I'm sure I can find a piece of mail that would like convince them I still live in this location.
God, because that library system is so good.
It is. And the new one also seems like very good. They seem very comparable in terms of like selection, wait times. There's been a number of things that like when I added the new card, like, oh, the wait times are actually shorter in this library system.
Really?
But it was like there were like I just had to switch everything over and like there were things that I'd had holds on for like a long time. It's like, well, we're back to the
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, that library system has way more than the one where I live. So I use my sister's library card for out there.
Andrew, they do expire. Where I work, they expire every 4 years. It's so that we can keep up to date with like your contact information. So like if you haven't moved in 4 years, great, but can you just confirm that with us? So yeah.
I also, when I went to get the card at the new library, they have on the website like, these are the things that you can bring to like demonstrate that this is your residential address. And so I like had like some postmarked, I don't know, utility bill or something that I brought with me. They didn't even ask to see it. I was like, should I have committed fraud at the other library?
I have like emailed in the past to be like, I can't come in. Can you just renew it? And they've been like, yep, no problem.
Yeah,
Mine has a checkbox online. Like I had to prove it to get it for my Florida library card, but when it expired, I just had to go into my account and check a thing that was like, I still live here. Please don't cancel.
Oh, nice.
I kind of think if I just like called them or something, I probably could have gotten it renewed, but it's fine. Like all else being equal, like I did want to get a library card here anyway. So
yeah.
It was a little because like the old one is like I'd gotten it while I was in college, and then like I'd moved away for a while, but just like didn't happen to like be away when it expired. I think I'd like renewed it right before I moved or something. So then when I moved back, it was still, so I'd like had that library card for quite a while for someone who's been like a reasonably transient adult.
It is a sad day when you have the library card memorized and you have to get a new card and you're like, dang it. Because I had my childhood one memorized, and then when I went away to college, I got one for that community. I got that one memorized, but then now I'm on my third card. I'm like, it's not gonna stay.
No. Now that Google will remember it for me, it's
right.
just gone. I've also still been slowly making my way through the mid-century modern TV series that Mr. Roro recommended a few months back, and I'm going very slowly, but it's still a delight.
I don't remember that one. What is it about?
It's like they're not that old, but it's kind of giving like gay Golden Girls a little bit.
Okay.
It's on Hulu. It's really fun. I always just feel like, oh, this is like I can turn it on and just kind of crochet, and I don't have to pay super close attention, but that reminds me. Hang on.
Hey, look at that.
It's beautiful.
A different pattern. It turns out I wasn't the problem. The pattern was.
Love that.
I also didn't like crocheting directly onto the wire, so I'm feeding the wire in after
How long did that take you with the new one?
These actually don't take very long at all. I've made a bunch of them now. I haven't weaved in any of the threads. I think I'm going to make like 10, but I've gotten fast enough that it takes like 20 minutes maybe per leaf. This one's the prettiest one.
Yeah.
I move my head. So I'm going to make like 10, and then I'm going to try to assemble it and see how it's looking. Because these are a little smaller than the original pattern called for. Thanks, Nicole. Oh, I'm trying to think, what movies have I watched lately?
I've watched so many movies lately, and I don't know that any of them were gay.
Which
is a shame.
Yeah.
I watched The Last of Us, obviously. And it was good, obviously. No one needs me to recommend that one. I'm very curious what season 3 looks like with just like a totally different main character for one season. But
this is not a piece of media per se, but I did something fun this weekend where I got a whole little group full of asexuals that I know together in a little pack, and we played we played it on air, so some of you might be familiar. But the Oh Dang Bigfoot Stole My Car with my friend's birthday present inside.
Oh,
so
nice!
We
the
played
one
that
Des did with us. Nice.
Yeah. So we played it with this little queer group I assembled. They were. I was jamming, and they were chasing Bigfoot on a tandem bike. So it was great.
Amazing.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
How many people are in the group?
So it was me and then 4 players.
Nice.
Dang.
And I have to give Des props. Like I've played other games and like been GM'd. That's a hard game to GM because it's so loosey-goosey and off the rails. It's like you can't plan for a whole lot during this game. But it was very fun.
Were they surprised at the end?
So there's different optional endings that you can choose. So the one Des played with us, it was that Bigfoot wants to celebrate his birthday too. But they have like other different options. And so mine was that Bigfoot was like trying to go see his long distance lover.
Oh.
Is one of the other goals you can give Bigfoot. So.
That's amazing. I was out on the day that we played that.
Oh yeah. Very fun. Very silly.
Des has the best taste.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did y'all see they posted on their Instagram by book or by hook? If you aren't following them yet, follow them. They sold out at the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was their biggest one.
Yeah, because last week they were making like a ton of blind date with the books.
Yeah.
They sold out.
They freaking sold out. Best in the biz. I saw someone in the comments that was like, "Oh, I waited in line and it was totally worth the wait."
Oh.
So they must have had like a queue going.
Nice.
Awesome.
I feel like I should give blind dates with a book another try. I feel like the last time I tried to do it like through the library, I think I like got 2 and they were both books I'd already read.
Oh no. Yeah. I do feel like I'd be better equipped for it now. Because like even before I felt like I was so aware of what books were out in genres that I liked that I could like decipher what was and like take the fun about it. Now I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like I could pick something that I know isn't something I read a lot of, and I probably would be surprised.
I had a friend send one to me, and I thought I had guessed it based on the clues, but I hadn't. So I think that's kind of cool to have someone who knows you and maybe knows. Although she couldn't have known what it was, I don't know.
Well, I think we'll probably wrap up just a little early this evening, since we've given lots of recs. I'll put all those books in the description box. And yeah, does anyone have any last minute things?
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! It's illegal to be straight this month. Congrats!
We did it.
We did it. We'll be back next week with another write-in. And what are we doing the week after that? Let's give you a forecast. Oh, then it's our quarterly check-in.
No.
So be thinking about the quarter.
No.
Sorry,
that
y'all.
Can't be right. I can't believe we started and ended on the rapid passage of time.
With a crisis.
Gosh.
You're welcome, everyone. But next week is write-in, so there's still time. We'll see you all then.
Delayed.
As always, it's a pleasure to see you and chat with you. Bye.